There's a disturbing new TikTok trend going on right now.
What TikTok trend isn't disturbing at this point? Like, can you think of one? It's just like everything going on that platform is just diabolical.
Yeah. So it says 4 15-year-old teenagers arrested over viral TikTok gun prank. It's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank. What it is it encourages kids to go up to teachers at their school and say that they have a pew 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 or a in their backpack. Don't do that.
3 incidents were confirmed to have stemmed from a social media challenge, and the 4th is suspected of being related to the challenge's hoax. Police said the challenge encouraged students to record a video of themselves telling a teacher there was a bomb or gun in their backpack. So they're now getting charged with this, hopefully as adults. I mean, what do you do in this situation? I think they also had the district attorney force TikTok to take the videos down, thankfully.
Yeah.
But think about what's allowed on the platform, and then the fact that I got my account banned.
Mary's over here.
For just like having correct opinions. Anyway, people are saying, they should be stuck in juvie until they're 18. Their parents should get charged with neglect, blah, blah, blah.
They're dumb.
But what's going to happen is they get suspensions from school. They get the warning letters. And nothing really happens.
Look, I kind of agree. Like, look, it's you're very dumb, and your parents need to have a very, very, very strong talking to with you on this. The internet is rotting your brain.
If your kid's doing that at 15, you've made a lot more mistakes before then that led to this moment.
Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, kids get on the internet early these days, and parents are at work all day. Like, kids just their brains are just rotted from the inside out. And this might, like, the hope is that, like, if the parents handle this correctly and punish them, and I mean to the high heavens, to really put it in their brain, like, look, you have gone too far. You cannot do this. This is insane. Like, you can't just take their phone away from them.
I think the issue here is that, like, first of all, the punishment that you give to these kids is about the example it sets for the other kids, so that they don't end up doing the same thing since they're such followers. But also, I think that the older generations just don't really realize yet how irony poisoned Gen Z is, and how they don't take anything seriously, like even life or death situations. Yeah. They don't take any of it seriously. They're the ones like snickering and probably scrolling on their phones during lockdown drills. They don't know what the drills are for. They don't take 9/11 seriously because they don't remember 9/11. They make jokes about it.
But I mean, even millennials make fun of that. Like, even millennials, like it just the last two generations. It's also before you understood the gravity of it. And then they don't care about, school shootings because they don't remember Columbine. Yeah. They don't remember that. Well, they don't know what all of these measures are for. They just grew up with the aftermath of it. They get tons of articles and stuff about how there's like 900 school shootings every year. Because any school shooting, any gun violence that happens within however many feet of a school is technically considered a school shooting. So those numbers are skewed.
And you can call it a mass one if it reaches like 3 people or something.
But it's part of growing up on the internet, right? Yeah. The internet age has poisoned everyone. And I do think this is one of those things where I've been trying to figure out in my brain to figure out, like, it was the sub incident that really put this into my brain and made it something I wanted to think about deeply, which is this: like, when does it become humor, and then when does it go too far? Because to me, the people who laughed at the people that died because they were rich, that was crazy to me, but I laughed at all the memes. So I'm trying to work out in my brain
the sub memes were funny for the most part. Yeah. Not the ones that weren't memes where people were just like, haha, they're rich, so they deserve to not only die but suffer for days in panic and distress.
So it makes me wonder now, like we're growing up in kind of a weird bubble where we're constantly on the outside looking in of all these tragedies that are divorced from actual personal connection to us, right? So when 9/11 happened, that the nation felt that as a whole, because they had never seen, it had been so long since they'd seen anything of that gravity. It was the biggest
terrorist attack on American soil, but also we were less jaded, we were less cynical, and we were less nihilistic in a lot of ways. So the humor that we kind of espouse these days, it's a coping mechanism, I think, in a lot of ways, to the nihilism that the world has created. I think, if I had to guess, from the 24-hour news cycle of people being fed constantly bad news all the time, every day.
Right, like it would drive you insane if you actually did care about all of the tragedies that the media feeds to your brain all the time.
So you can't care all the time.
It's not in your sphere of influence.
And to be fair, like anytime somebody does do that and somebody says, oh my God, how dare you make a joke about something like this? Your natural reaction is to say, dude, kick rocks. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, shut up. Like you're being a dweeb.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that doesn't mean you yourself don't have empathy or you yourself don't care about other people. You very clearly do.
Like earlier, I was saying, like that. When I see all these headlines about celebrities dying, even if it's one that I was a fan of or something, I don't actually care. You know, I don't actually feel like a pain in my heart when I find out that a celebrity has died.
But it was
because if I did, if I actually felt so strongly about it every time that I saw a headline like that, I would go insane.
Remember the TikTok challenge? Mom, so-and-so died.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. When the Zoomers would make jokes like that to their older relatives, their parents, it works on them because they don't scroll their phone as much, or they're not on the internet seeing these headlines all the time, and they don't have to develop the coping mechanism of being like, whatever. Like, but if you did that trend to a Zoomer and you were like, I don't know, Ariana Grande died, would they? I mean, they might be like, oh, really?
No.
Or they would just be like,
Swifties would be aghast if something happened to Taylor Swift. Swifties would be aghast if something happened to Taylor Swift. Okay, the world would grind to a halt for a day.
If you did that TikTok trend on a Swiftie and you were like, Taylor Swift just died, they would make a joke. They would make a joke at you. They wouldn't believe you.
I don't think they
they wouldn't believe you.
But that's not because they don't but that's just talking about them being cynical about whether they actually believe it happened or not.
But it's a good point though, because like the boomer parents and the Gen Xers all took their word for it.
Off the top of their head, yeah. I mean, I guess it also is like all those views. Somebody's like, "Mom, Drake just died," and it's like, "Gee, I wonder if this is real." Like a Zoomer understands that this is a tip-off. Like somebody doing this to you while telling you someone dies. That's a tip-off that something might not be.
They were probably hiding it. They were probably like pretending to read about it on their phone.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. So-and-so just died. BTS all just died in a car crash. It's like, the world falls apart for a day, right?
Dude, okay, what would happen?
No, if right now, if we went to a bunch of conservatives and populists were like, Donald Trump just died. There goes America.
Wait, what would I say? Like, I love Trump. What would I say?
What would you say? What would you say if
I would probably be just like, I would probably think you were joking. And be like,
but and I actually have a thing about that too. Is like, I think a lot of it is like people, because the internet puts the answers to all questions in your pocket.
I hate that.
You now have to always feel like you have the answer. You can't ever feel like you've been duped.
You have to fact check everything, and nobody can just like have a fun conversation wondering what the answer to a certain question is ever, because there's always going to be some buzzkill in the corner. I looked it up. It's this.
We just talked about there was a thing that went viral. I don't think it was TikTok, but it was somebody's like, what did people do when you couldn't just look up the answers to questions on your phone? And somebody said, hi, I used to work for Cha-Cha, which was you could text Cha-Cha a question that you wanted answered, and then the person who worked for Cha-Cha would look up the answer on the internet and text it back to you. You're like, oh, what? Is it Berenstain Bears or is it Berenstain Bears? Let me ask Cha-Cha. And so they send them the question, they look up the answer, and they text you the answer back. That was a thing.
That's a real thing.
That was a real thing back in the day.
Did you use it?
I don't think I ever used it. I probably didn't.
Did you know what it was?
I knew what it was. I knew what it was the second the lady brought it up. So there was a time where you were just allowed to not know the answers to stuff. And the cynicism comes from the fact that if now even on the show, I'll say something and I'm like, I don't want to get bodied by people telling me you're wrong, bro.
If we like are wrong about something that like, we didn't fact check on air, someone is going to comment, they're lying about this.
Exactly.
Like in what world would that have been us intentionally lying about something?
Yeah. So you're not allowed
like,
to just not know the answer.
I'm not an AI engine with encyclopedic knowledge of the entire internet.
And it also speaks to me in a lot of ways. Like there's a vast difference between knowing the answer to something and really understanding it. And there's a large gap there. So I think there's a lack of humility because you know the answer to something doesn't mean you understand it the way somebody who actually like you could give me the answer to how something works in an industry. That's not the same as somebody who actually worked in that industry for 20 years telling me, look, this is how it is. He could convey the same information to you, but you don't have the understanding that that person does. And I think that all of this is just because human beings were not designed to have access to all of the information in the world.
We sound like boomers now.
Well, you know, they're just
like,
going to
phone bad.
Just go like, oh, what do? We end up on OnlyFans anyways. So what does it matter?
These kids don't ask their grandparents about stories anymore.
So, like, do you think that happens? Like some grandpa has a story about his life as a child, and the kid's like fact checking grandpa. Well, actually, grandpa.
Well, I mean, it's just the assumption that there's nothing you could tell me that I can't find out with my phone.
But maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should ask the relative. But here's the thing: we're even less trustworthy. So they're going to tell you the answer, and you're going to check anyways, just to be sure.
Yeah.
It's the world we live in, and it's really, really depressing.
Every kid goes through the stage where they ask constant questions to the point where it annoys every adult in their life.
Yes. I remember that.
Are they just going to outsource that to AI too?
Mom's like, take the phone. Ask the phone. I don't want to know. I don't know.
Ask ChatGPT, son. I'm tired of it.
It's to be called Mom GPT. It's like an app designed just like, is your kid asking you a ton of annoying questions? Are you sick of answering uncomfortable ones that leave the whole family feeling weird at the dinner table? Mom GPT is for you. And it's
they have
just
an AI that gives you the talk.
Yeah. Oh, that will absolutely end up being a thing at some point. So yeah, these
you can choose a tone.
These kids are a product of their environment in a lot of ways.
Yeah, our conversation kind of veered off quite far from the original story, but I think that this is just a symptom of, you know, the fact that Gen Z doesn't take anything seriously anymore and everything is a big joke and a meme.
See, I mean, is it that? Yeah, I guess at 15, at 15, do you have the wherewithal to know like this is a bad idea?
I mean, I would not have done that at 15.
Yeah, like.
But.
Oh, so he says, what about Chad GPT? Does Chad GPT give you dating advice? I have no idea.
These 15-year-olds these days are just built different.
They're just built different.
I don't get it. I don't get them.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.